afternoon and welcome to Hungary. Welcome to Motors TV, our continuing coverage of the Formula 3.5 V8 series, which we're bringing you, of course, the whole of this year. We have a great couple of races here today. Beautiful weather, as you can see, on the Budapest circuit. 4.381 kilometers and 15 cars on the grid. Still missing the two-car Straka team, which is not yet got its budget together, but everybody else is here, including winners of the first two races this year. Those races were taken by respectively Louis Detraz and Aurélien Panis, Swiss and French drivers for the first and second rounds. This is the Hungaroring, and there's been a lot of changes in the last few months. Over the winter, the surface has been completely relaid. There's brand new tarmac, and all records are being broken this weekend. We've not only got Formula 3.5 V8, we've also got World Touring Cars and the European Formula 3 Series, and those records, as we say, tumbling everywhere. In 2012, it was Robin Frins who set the 3.5 record at 1:28. Well, that was absolutely shattered by Tom Dillman. Tom Dillman taking that record with a 1:26.7, and to put that into perspective, Lewis Hamilton's pole for last year's Hungarian Grand Prix in ideal conditions was 1 minute 22 dead. So these 3.5 litre V6 cars are running only 4.5 seconds off the pace of the front-running Formula 1 cars. Shows just how strong this series has become. Of course, it has morphed out of what was the Renault World Series. Renault decided they didn't want to continue with the 3.5 formula. They now headline the Renault Sport Auris 201 cars as their main feature. Tom Dillman then on pole with that incredible 1:26.7. Aurélien Panis next door to him. Louis Delatraz, the other race winner, on row 2, with Johnny Cecotto Jr. row 2 also. Mathieu Vazavier and Alfonso Chalis alongside each other on row 3. Matevos Iskayan and Roy Nassine, the Israeli driver, on row 4, with Giuseppe Cipriano all by himself at the back there in the Durango. This is Motors. This is the Hungaroring at Budapest, and beautiful spring sunny weather here today for the cars as they take their place on the grid for what will be a 40-minute sprint race. Tomorrow's race will also be 40 minutes, but they include a pit stop to change 2 tyres in Sunday's race. Here is Tom Dillman then. Tom really shining this weekend. 27 years old from Mulhouse, one of the older drivers in the category. He's seen it all: karting, Belgian Formula Renault, won the German Formula 3 Championship in 2010, had 6 wins that year, and last year raced in this series at Carlin. Aurélien Panis then, son, of course, of Olivier. He's 21 years old from Grenoble and came here as Andros vice champion in the electric ice racing series of the winter. Also did WSR last year. This is Louis Delatraz, winner of race 1 in Aragon just a weekend ago. 18 years old from Geneva and son of sports car driver Jean Denis. He's driving for Fortec. So warm spring sunshine, as we say at Hungaroring, as we continue our trip down the grid. Row 2 then on the outside, Johnny on the inside rather, Johnny Cecotto Jr. and Johnny, son of the Venezuelan touring car hero. He came here from GP2 in 2014, had 2 wins of Trident. Not such a good race in Aragon, a 10th and 6th places to show for what he was doing that weekend. Right, let's move on then. As our cameraman gets down to row 3, we'll find Mathieu Vazavier, who beat Aurélien Panis to the Andros Trophy ice racing title back in February. Matt Vazavier, also Le Mans runner, in the 23 car there. He is SMP Racing, the Russian entry, Boris Rotterberg. Team is based, however, in Marseille, which is very handy for Mathieu, who comes from Limoges. 2011 French Formula 4 champion, and also racing in this series last year, vice champion, had 4 wins driving for the Lotus squad. Mathieu now, as we say, moving to the red, white and blue SMP colours. Nothing to do with Great Britain, those colours, or indeed with Her Majesty the Queen, who celebrated her 90th birthday just a couple of days ago. So congratulations, Your Majesty. Alfonso Chelis here in the number 15 car from Mexico. And this guy, of course, has had a test drive with Force India at Bahrain in the Grand Prix this year. Came here also from last year's World Series by Renault. Behind him, Nativos Iskayan, Russian driver, also for SMP squad, same team as Mathieu Vezavier, and Isakayan coming here as third from Formula Renault Alps, 2 wins, and has had 16 races in GP3. Israel's Roy Nissany. Roy then, who raced in Budapest, so he's one of the few drivers who's actually at home here this weekend, and Roy on board those familiar black and gold Lotus colours. Lotus run out of Czechoslovakia by Gravity Charouz, Jan Charouz, of course, himself a mean sports car racer, and that car raced last year as Tech 1 Racing with Roy on board. So we're working our way back through the grid gradually, just looking to see who is on row 5. We're just looking a bit further on the back. Beitske Visa, the Dutch girl in the Theo Martin car.
Success here in the Budapest circuit. 2 pole positions for the team, 1 in Motorland and today in P1.
Yeah, just hopefully that we can manage to win today. So we hope we have good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
So Adrian Valles then, who of course runs the AVF team, which Tom Dorman has put the car off on pole. So engines are fired up. We're getting minute plus 1 lap races here at Budapest. 1 today, 1 tomorrow. This is the Formula V8 3.5 race.
Yes,
Sprint race here today, as here's Tom Dillman talking about his pole.
I was on pole in different categories, so I was confident coming here this weekend. And yeah, great pole, a good gap. The lap was great, the car was fantastic to drive. So I had a lot of fun, and the team is really happy, so it's great.
How does this new tarmac affect to the Formula Renault 3.5 car? I think it's flying here in the Budapest.
Yeah, the tarmac is really quick. I think we could go even quicker if it was only Michelin rubber on the track, because it's the best rubber there is in Michelin. And all the time we are doing laps, the track is improving when we put our rubber. So I think if there was only Michelin rubber, we would be even going quicker. You know, it's not too bad already.
Confident for that first victory, maybe?
Yeah, now I have 3 pole in this championship, and the last 3 weekends, actually, Jerez, Motorland and Budapest, I was on pole. So now I really need to win my first race in 3.5. It's been a solid start to the season, but you know, we need that win.
So Tom Dillman there just telling us about his pole position. Some facts about Hungary. The circuit was built in 1986. It was the first ever Iron Curtain Grand Prix, and it's been run unbroken along with Monza and Monaco since that first race. Just a reminder of the grid: Dillman, Pani, Stellatraz, Cicotto Jr., Vazavier and Chelis Jr. taking up those first 3 places on the grid. And of course, downhill into that tight turn 1, always an accident zone. So too is turn 1A, and particularly turn 2, where this morning we saw a lot of drama in the European Formula 3 Championship. Now, one thing we're going to be looking out for here this afternoon is exceeding track limits. No less than 40 cars, or 40 times cars in the Formula 3 qualifying lost their track times. 4 or 5 cars, including Johnny Cicotto Jr., lost their times in qualifying for this. So we will be watching that closely. Messages may well be flashing up on the screens to tell us what is going on there. We're just waiting then as the cars weave around this 4.381 kilometer 14 turn circuit. And the good news for the Hungaroring, yesterday it was confirmed the Formula 1 race will continue here until at least 2021, so right through to the end of the decade. More government funding has made sure that this circuit will stay firmly on the calendar. As you heard, newly resurfaced. As you've also heard, very, very quick now, within 4.5 seconds of Formula One's times here. So we're just waiting for everyone to get up into position. Just waiting for the man with the green flag at the back to walk across, and we're going to see how it works out. Tom Dillman there on the right of your picture. Pole is on the outside of this circuit as they plunge down the hill. Then it's Panis alongside him in the other red and white car. Then Delatraz, Cecotto, Vezzavia and Celis. Who's going to get the whole shot as they go down the hill? Look at Dillman, great start from him, back end sliding out, and he cuts across, so Panis can't get in there. Delatraz and Cecotto do the same as they plunge down the hill into that tight turn one. And well, Dillman's already got the jump on everybody there, but what about the guys behind? Can they all get round safely? It's very clean and tidy at the moment through 1A, still plunging down the hill into this deep valley through which a river runs, and turn 2 a bit messy there as they start braking for that. Through 2, still dropping down into 3, then the long straight out into the country where these cars, which of course have got 530 horsepower and weigh in at 623 kilos, much quicker than GP2 cars. And in fact, the pole today is 1.5 seconds quicker than Alex Lynn's GP2 pole at the Grand Prix last year. But everyone's spreading out still. Dillman, Panis, Delatraz, Cecotto, Vezzavia and Celis, and Roy Nissany there in 8th place in that number 4 car, trying to hang on in there. Out the back of the circuit then through turns 6, 7, 8 and 9. Chopping and changing there in the Lotus is Roy Nissany. There in the middle of that bunch. Panis then trying to keep on the coattails of Tom Dillman. Coming round turn 13. That's the penultimate one. Then the final corner 14. Like a serpent unwinding. Coming across the line then for the first time. And it's Dillman who's leading. And he's got the jump on Panis. Panis not back to 4th place now because it's Delatraz, Cecotto and then Panis in that number 8 car. Vezzavia, Nissany, Isakayan, Celis and Baitska Vissa. She is currently in 9th with Igor Orachev, Russian driver there, who had pole position for the first race in Aragon, but not a very good weekend. He's in 10th place at the moment. Lap 2 then, and plunging down that long straight into turn 4 and 5. Circuit really tightens up on itself. These guys hitting something like 175 miles an hour at this point of the circuit. Around 5 through the chicane then, 6 and 7. Short blast into turn 8. This is an S's, 8 and 9. The circuit starts climbing again. Going back up the hill through turn 11, 12, that short straight underneath the bleachers there, then into the serpent-like turns 12, 13 and 14, which double back on themselves. And it's still Dillman who's put in the fastest sector 1 on this lap. Lap time's tumbling already. He goes across the line, a 1:32. Quite a long way off their qualifying pace, but remember these cars are carrying quite a heavy fuel load at the moment. Something like 45 minutes of racing ahead of them. It's exactly 40 minutes, then one further lap when the clock stops. Here we go, spreading out, fanning. It's Delatraz, Cecotto, Panis, Nissany, Vezzavia and Isakayan. So some not brilliant starts there. Vezzavia falling from 5th to 6th. Third time they come down through turns 2 and 3, plunging down the hill much steeper than it looks on television, and we're well into lap 4.